Name's I'm Dr. Roy Stillwell, and company is based in Austin, Texas, and the company's Nearwave. So my mother went through breast cancer when she was I don't know, about 5 or 10 years ago, and watching her go and sort of suffer through that disease, it sucks. Breast cancer is terrible. And my co-founder, his wife, real young as well, actually had breast cancer. So both of us, they're both survivors, and they're just badass women. They're awesome women. So for us, we're just a couple engineering nerds, and we're like, we can totally do something about this. They had to suffer through a lot of, different kinds of chemotherapy that was, tough. So we're trying to make a difference there. The problem we're trying to solve is around, we work in breast cancer. We call it neoadjuvant chemotherapy. So that just means therapy before surgery. And the major problem there is that about 70% of women are not complete responders to their primary chemotherapy. And then about 35% of those women don't respond at all. But we keep administering chemotherapy and other kinds of hormonal therapies, which is insane. So that's a major problem. You're basically taking very highly toxic drugs for 3 to 6 months before you go to surgery, and oftentimes after surgery as well. And for a good portion of those women, they're not responding to that therapy at all. So we're trying to help that particular problem. We call this a Nearwave scanner. This is what it looks like. It's got some hardware, and then there's some software components that go along with it. And basically, we can tell with this device, we scan folks while they're undergoing chemotherapy. We can tell in about a week if that therapy is going to work or not, rather than waiting like 3 or 6 months to find out. It's like a really early time period. So if we see in a scan that they're not having a response, we can move them to surgery much faster. So you save 3 months of toxic chemotherapy. Or for folks that aren't responding and there's other therapies we can move them to, you can use a device like this to iterate much faster. With really advanced types of breast cancer, you don't have a lot of shots on goal to change therapy. There's not enough time. So people get really sick. And if you can do that in a shorter period of time, we can get 6, 7 shots on goal to actually have an impact on the cancer they're using. So that's basically sort of what we do with this device. What keeps me motivated is, there's a couple things. It's obviously a really compelling problem. Helping folks, if it even saves one life, it's worth all the sleepless nights and stress of doing startup world. But the other thing is, coming from an engineering background, I get to play with really nerdy things, a lot of cool electronics. We have lasers, this stuff gets, uploaded to the cloud. We've got AI, so the stack is just really interesting and compelling to work on. So it's also really easy to attract talent because we have kind of two bottom lines. It's a obviously really impactful technology, and also it's just cool. It's really fun to work on. So it's really easy to get up in the morning and, keep doing this. The Health Podcast program, I was referred to it by another group that had gone through an accelerator sort of ancillary to this, the Texas Medical Center, and they're like, yeah, there's a really cool program in Dallas. Have you heard of it? And we hadn't, and so I reached out and spoke with Hubert, and he's so compelling, really cool guy. And we just recently moved to Austin a couple years ago, and so we want to have a footprint here in Texas. So we're close to Dallas and close to Houston, so this nice triangle here. And so we're like, well, this is a perfect program for us to kind of get in the door. And you guys know most everyone in the area, so we want to be a part of that program. So lots of hospitals we want to work with here. So that was a major motivator for us. Yeah, it's been great so far. We hope the impact, and I think this is actually going to be the case. It's either us or someone else is going to do this, but we don't use a lot of these kinds of spectroscopic technologies in imaging in healthcare. So in the next 5 to 10 years, every woman in the world will be using this either to be screened, or to look at different kinds of benign or malignant, type of things, as well as in chemotherapy response. So, there's no reason not to use it. It's like relatively straightforward technology. It just took us a long time to figure out how to get it into like a form factor that was easy enough to use. And so that's why it's kind of just now that we're able to do this. So in the future, that's for sure how it's going to be. There'll be, everyone will be using this technology all over the world. Part of the programs that we've been involved with, there's Y Combinator on the West Coast. We went through their program, a great program as well, but more software focused than sort of hardware health tech focused. So it's another reason that we were excited to be here. But that program's great. You get a lot of sort of ins from that. So some credentialing a little bit there, and then we're working with a lot of hospitals at Texas Medical Center, and so we'll have some cool announcements about that in the next couple coming months.